Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is another episode, and I'm so happy to be with you. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, tap the bell notification icon, drop a comment down below, and let us know where you are watching the show from. It's always a pleasure to be with you once again. Thank you so much for joining me. Jumping on to the story straight away, Obi Mikel is trending. Obi Mikel is in the news. Why is he in the news? Obi Mikel, bro, you are in the news. And today we're going to talk about you. There is a trending video where Obi Mikel was on a podcast. I think the podcast, he owns a podcast, or is his podcast, or is Ferdinand's podcast. However, whoever it is, he spoke some wisdom on there. Yeah. And he spoke about the whole thing of, being rich in Africa, making it in Africa or making it elsewhere as an African, and the fact that it becomes so difficult to actually live your life because everyone back home is expecting something from you, and it makes it really, really tough. But before we jump into the story, let's take a listen, or let's take a look at the video or at the set podcast where he said this, and then we'll come back to it.
Not sure about this.
When you come from Africa, and this is something I don't think we speak a lot about, when you make money, it's not your money. You have all these relatives, cousins, whatever you call it.
Who you didn't know.
Yeah. And your sisters, they go off and they get married to some guy, who just wants to get married to Obi Mikel.
Right. So he was just trying to explain the fact that when you come from Africa and you make so much money, the money is not just for you, but it's for your family and your siblings and the entire community. John, let's take it from this angle, yeah? So African culture and African, family and the whole entire system in Africa is built around family, yeah? Now, upbringing, and the entire transition period from you being a child until you grow up to a certain stage, family is actually involved in this whole cycle. Whilst I agree with some points of Obi Mikel's submissions, I think other parts of the submission also I disagree with, because the way the system in Africa works is that everyone helps everyone. And if you are an African and you're watching this, you will know that when growing up, your uncle can pay for your school fees, your auntie can pay for your school fees, your other sibling and relatives can support when needed. And the whole idea is that when you grow up and you also make it, even if you don't make it, when you grow up and you start earning money, it's expected of you to also support. That's how the entire African system is. And that's how we've known it from day one. This is not something new. The entire African system is that we'll help you grow up, and then when you are there, you need to help those behind you. And even those ahead of you, your parents, your uncles, your aunties. That's how the entire African system works. And I don't think this is new to John. He knows it because he grew in it. This is not new to Obi Mikel. He knows about it. He knows about the entire system. He passed through it before he became Obi Mikel. So his first point of he saying that in Africa, when you make money, the money doesn't belong to you alone. It belongs to the entire family. It belongs to the entire community. Yes, bro. Yes, that's how the system works. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how you were raised. When you grow up and you get to that stage, you're supposed to help those behind you, as those who were before you did help you. So that point of the submission, where he disagreed with that system, I also disagree with him. Because he also benefited, or he is and he was a beneficiary of that same system until he became John Obi Mikel, until he made money, until he played for Chelsea. I'm sure when he was going to Europe to play his first professional football, somebody paid for his plane ticket. I'm sure an uncle and auntie gave him £100, €100, $100. I'm sure a grandmother, a grandfather did pray for him. So, the entire system that brought you up, this is the system we're talking about. The African system is more of an extended family setup than a nuclear one, of which you know. Now, there's a second part to that whole podcast thing, which he said, which I do not agree with. And I'm going to play that part as well. We'll take a look at that and make some submissions on it. Let's listen to the second part of it.
Get married to some guy, who just wants to get married into John Obi Mikel's family, because then my life is sorted. And then you start looking after this guy. Before you know it, you're looking at them. Where is it?
You're on less than them.
Exactly. They, who just wants to get married in. You have all these relatives, cousins, whatever you call it.
Who you didn't know.
Yeah. And your sisters, they go off and they get married to some guy, who just wants to get married into John Obi Mikel's family, because then my life is sorted. And then you start looking after this guy. Before you know it, you're looking at them. Where is it?
You're on less than them.
Exactly. They keep having so many kids, and you're looking at, okay, you're having this much kids. Who's going to look after them?
So that's a bit of the video that I disagree with, or I am in support with John Obi Mikel on that submission. Now, your sister's husband, or your sister's husbands, your sisters getting married to guys who just wants to be in John Obi Mikel's family because John Obi Mikel has made money is wrong. First of all, as soon as your sister marries to whoever, he's that person's responsibility. Yeah? That is the African system. And that person who has come to marry your sister, that person is supposed to contribute to the larger family. I'm not saying you shouldn't support him, but he shouldn't be a burden. You understand how the system works? So if your sister goes to marry somebody who just wants to come into John Obi Mikel's family because John Obi Mikel has made so much money and he's sorted, and then later comes to you for you to take care of him and the family from day-to-day basis, that is wrong. And that you must say no to. And that I agree with you. Yeah? That I agree with you. Because in the first instance, your sister must marry a responsible man who can take care of her and the children and the family, and also support in a way. But we as humans, as we go on in life, we need support along the line. So this same guy who has come to marry your sister, if he needs support one way or the other, you can help, but not to take care of him on a day-to-day basis. There's a difference. So the point I'm trying to put across here is that when you make money as an African, the money is not only for you. That I support and that I agree with. John, when you make money as an African, the money is not only for you. The money is for the extended family, the nuclear family, and the whole community. So you're supposed to help out, build schools where you can, give health care where you can, support the needy, support widows, support the poor where you can. Aside you doing the responsibility of benefiting from the community and the extended family when you were young, it also adds up as a blessing to you. Yeah, it does. It adds up as a blessing to you. with your sister going to marry some guy and the guy expecting that you take care of him, that is a no-no. That is a no-no. You see, you cannot just marry because you know John Obi Mikel has made it, so you want to come into the family and also enjoy some of the wealth. No, you must contribute to the family. Yeah. When you marry into a family in the African setup, you must contribute to the family. You don't just take away. You don't just take away. Let's complete this.
It's you.
And the culture that they expected you to do
Because
that.
for them, you owe them that. So you sometimes you have to be strong and say, you know what, guys, enough is enough. I don't care. They give you this thing whereby if you don't do it, we're going to go to the press.
Ooh.
Wow.
Bro, enough is enough. You don't care. Yeah, on that guy's level, enough is enough. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that guy's level. Your sister marrying somebody and that person needing help and pestering you all the time for money, at some point you have to say no to it. But for the community and the extended family, you must care. John, you must care. Because how? Why? We brought you up. It's the African system, bro. You can't change it. You cannot change it. That's how it's been. That's how you met it. And that's how it's going to be. Our traditions and our values and our cultural norms are so supreme. Sometimes it beats my mind as well, but that is how it is, bro. You can't come to the West, make so much money and become a Westerner. No. You go back home, you support, put in the money where you can. Support when you can. Only when you can. Yeah, only when you can. And they threaten you, that guy or whoever threatening you to go to the press. They can go to the press. You don't owe anybody, support. You don't owe anybody financial support or assistance or anything. But it is just right that you do it. Not for that lazy your sister's husband or whoever, no. But for the others. Yeah. And it has to come from a place of giving and not being forced. This is my take on it. Thank you very much.